7 distinctions, and you're going to explain how you did this, because I have no idea how it is that you guys have achieved such results. By the way, 100% bachelor passes in routine. So tell me your story. How do you manage to do what you do? Because you're not going to reveal, by the way, which is it's my moment that I'll reveal about you, the other thing that you do besides academics. But let's talk about the academics first.
I mean, firstly, I'm so grateful to be a part of Rodin. All they have done is supported me from grade 8, from when COVID hit and we were all in lockdown from grade 8 until grade 9. And it was very difficult getting out of that very isolated system into like this world where we're supposed to learn how to live our lives of significance, as Rodin has taught us. But I definitely think being disciplined in my academics, as well as having a social life, doing some sport, has definitely allowed me to, as Maya said, balance my time. So I think time management is definitely a big role to play in my life and how I achieve my results.
So here's a big reveal. She talks about time management as if it's just a thing. So you are a national swimmer, you've represented South Africa, and yet, on top of this, you've achieved 7 distinctions. How in the world did you do that?
I mean, as Maya said, I think it's very, very important to have that time management. And as a sportswoman, I've learned from a very young age how to manage my time while dealing with the pressures of either cultural activities or academic activities. And so coming into Matric, knowing that there was so much pressure to get these results that I'm so proud of, I knew that I had to balance my time. And actually swimming is one thing that allowed me to do that. So doing all these national competitions in prelims, and I still had to train. Yeah. It was really hectic, but it definitely served me for the best.
You talk about time management. We'll come to you in a moment, Mia. Your moment is coming. Some parents who have top achievers like yourself, who are also very determined to make sure that they stay in the sports, they've decided that actually we're going to tell our kids to take a pause your extramural activities in order to focus on studies. Were your parents tempted to do that at one point?
Definitely not. One thing about me is if I don't swim, I'm not a happy person. Yeah. So I learned that actually sport is a very good stress relief for me. And so I felt I've done exams without like any kind of sport, and my results were so much worse than what they are now. So I've done the test and I've seen for myself that that is not the way to go for me.
My goodness, so swimming is the motivator. Interesting. And then let's come to Mia, top achiever, Loizidis. 8 distinctions, and you are ranked in the top 5% in 6 or more subjects and achieved a rate level of 7 in life orientation. My goodness. What do you do to prep for examinations?
I think it's also, as Romy was saying, it's a mixture.
Yeah.
You can't obsess yourself with academics. It just does not turn out well. For me, I also had like a bit of a hectic prelim situation. I went to China to represent South Africa for water polo at the FINA Championships. Wow. And it taught me time management as well. Like for me, my prelims were crammed into 2 weeks rather than 4. And so when I came to finals, where you have 7 weeks, you get bored almost. Like you sit there and you're like, what am I supposed to do? You know, you can only study so much.
This information into your head.
Yeah, you can only study so much. You can't study for 12 hours a day. It's just not humanly possible. So for me, it was also, I used my water polo. I used my sport. I went out, I found my friends, we studied together, we had study dates, and it was so much better. It was so much more manageable. You can't sit and study for 12 hours a day, and it's just not possible. You have to balance, as Maya was saying as well.
You're not going to remember everything. So it means that the way that I did it, however many years ago it was, basically, what was I doing? I would cram things in my head, try to memorize. You don't do that. That's not how you study. Is that what you're saying?
Well, what I realized is also this is what happens at Rodin, is it's a process. Everything's a process. So you start at the beginning of the year and you're learning your work, and by the time you get to the final Matric exams, you've already had 2 full sets of exams. You know the information. It's literally, it's like you wake up and you know what you're going to do with the day. You have your process. You have everything nailed down to a T. And that's what's important, is you have to have a foundation. I mean, sometimes, and I think it happens with everyone, is you cram your exams and you cram your information, and then literally the next day you forget it. And it's literally what happens. But what happened with Rodine is because we had so many sets of exams before, and we had our June prelims, by the time we got to finals, the information was there. It wasn't going anywhere. It was literally take a breath, and you could put your pen on paper, and you were so ready to write that exam because you'd done it so many times before.
Let's talk to the head of senior school, Annabelle Roberts. And so there's a trick to this, because Rodine has stayed among the top achievers. I mean, this is not the first time that you're achieving 100% bachelor pass rate. Talk to us about what the trick is with Rodine. What is it that you do that sets you apart?
I think for many years, Rodine has been seen as a school that is academics, academics, academics. And I think having listened to our students here, it's very clear that that isn't all that Rodine is. And we have taken an approach, in particular this year, we made a decision to decompress how we present things, because previously it was as many lessons as possible, squashed together as tightly as possible, keep the breaks short and tight. The research has progressed and told us that when people have time to decompress, when people have time to be, and when people are happy, they actually have better neural pathways and possibly can access the information better. And so we took a courageous decision, based on good research, at the beginning of this year, to decompress our timetable. And this is the group that now can claim to be Rodine's best improvement between their grade 11 year and their grade 12 year. Interestingly, and I just think this is fascinating for education as a whole, interestingly, caring for the whole human being has actually yielded amazing academic results as well.
So let me pause you there. Caring for the holistic human being. This is what you have termed in this article, where you were quoted as saying you have taken a holistic well-being of pupils. Is that what it talks to, what you've just explained?
Absolutely. It's saying that we are going to give you some time to create relationships, to be mentors to some younger students, to be involved in all of your sporting activities. We happen to have 3 of our very sporting students here, but some of our students are incredible in the cultural domain. We have musicians that are just out of this world. Our choir toured the US this year and brought tears to everybody's eyes. So, and many of them were matriculants as well. So it's about saying we are all so much more than just our brain. We are a mind, we are a heart, we are a soul. And we've been intentional about valuing every aspect of the students, and I think they would endorse that.